Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And got a good one for you today. Just walking through the resort in Newport Coast. Just a beautiful spot. Absolutely stunning. And, we're at the end of the road, guys. That's it. End of the line. So we're going to cover a lot today. Before I get into it, please take a second. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And today we have a sponsor, Private Internet Access, which I will talk about a little bit later. But first things first, guys. Jeremy Siegel is a Wharton professor. And Jeremy is he's the professor of economics, and he's brilliant, and we've talked about him a lot. But he just says right now, hey, we're at the end right now, and people don't want to accept that. And he used the YOLO principle, which is you only live once. And that people are living with very reckless disregard this time for the finances and everything that's going on in the economy right now. People just don't want to accept the fact as to where things are at. And man, this is just so great. It's solid gold. What he talked about was the housing market, first of all. People want to believe that this housing market is in great shape and that everything's fantastic and you have nothing to worry about, and nothing could be further from the truth. People are trying to convince themselves that things are going to be okay when they are anything but okay. And you're going to see major problems when it comes to real estate, and especially the interest rate problems, and that this is a rocket ship that is running out of gas, and that people need to understand the severity of where it's at. Right now, you've got home affordability. You're going to hear that a lot. Home affordability that's out of control. The interest rates with the Fed and what they're doing has done nothing but create chaos in the real estate market, and nobody wants to admit that. People don't want to miss out. Plus, honey, we're never going to move. We can afford that payment. Let's get that house. Let's go do it. Let's go put ourselves in debt to a depreciating asset that's going to go down in value that we will never be able to get out of without filing bankruptcy or getting divorced or losing it. So with that being said, he anticipates that there's going to be major trouble in the real estate market starting in September, no later than October of this year. So with that being said, experts that know the market, and I'm talking about the average homes here, in Newport Beach, Newport Coast, at this resort, you get people that aren't affected by that. You're going to see people buy things that are high priced. You're going to see the interest rates kill things and kill people's finances. And he is concerned about that people just don't want to sit back and wait and accept that. Okay? Then there's Karen Clancy. Karen Clancy steps forward from Pantheon Microeconomics and says, wait a second, the housing market is completely upside down. The false stories that we've got a bump up is a head fake, is what he said, which is fantastic. We saw a jump in January with home prices, and home sales go up, but it was just a reaction because it was down in December. No big deal, but you're going to see major problems with this because the interest rate debacle is destroying this industry. It's destroying it completely. And the problem with it is that there's not going to be a real estate turnaround anytime soon. No way. Even if they started to lower interest rates, you're not going to see it because of one thing, and that is affordability. Houses are not affordable. Now, you can sit there and say, well, they need to build more houses. They need to solve this problem. No, it's not the problem, guys. The problem is that you have something that is overpriced. And during the pandemic, we saw houses go up 30 and 40%. And he references this and talks about how this is completely upside down and people just think it's going to continue. And you're going to see major problems with builders because the low interest rates are done. And the cheap financing to build these commercial buildings, to build these high rises, the 5-story condos, everything that they're building is running out of gas. And once again, end of the road, guys. End of the road. So you can either take this seriously or not take it seriously. These two articles below are fantastic, but they're both from well-respected people that are talking about how this is bad. and people don't want to look at it. You should be the person sitting back. What's wrong with renting? Drayton Nay, who is a real estate wholesaler in the Las Vegas area, who I have a tremendous amount of respect, he's become a friend, and Drayton keeps showing like, hey, why not rent a house for $2,000 a month? 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in the Vegas area. That's nice. A couple years old. Why not do that? Why do you have to go buy a house and buy something that's going to be upside down? And people don't want to ask themselves that. Oh, I don't want to rent. I have to have my Tesla. I have to have the Porsche. I have to have these car payments. We need to spend that money. We need the status. Status is going to be a joke. Okay? It really is. This person, this Karen Clancy, talking about how bad it's going to get, it's going to be much worse than last time. Okay, so, what does he know? Okay, well, what he's talking about is the fact that these interest rates going up, you can talk about, hey, inflation took a downturn. It's still up, guys. It hasn't stopped. So the Fed's still going to raise interest rates this month. Don't be confused. And he's talking about how the stock market is at all-time high. When you look at all these people that say that we're running on fumes and the jet rocket is just going up and up and up and up and up, and it needs to stop, and eventually it's going to run out of jet fuel. But people, when you look at Jeremy Siegel, everybody wants to get on board and be part of the win, and you only live once. Well, I'm telling you guys, look at everybody who bought houses in 2005, 2006, 2007 that went upside down, and they will all tell you the same thing, that they wish they would have waited. They wish they would have just sat back and looked at what happened. And nobody believes it's going to happen again. But this time, what's going to happen is you're going to have people lose their jobs, and you're going to have communities be completely destroyed. And sooner or later, you're going to start to see these builders not get the houses finished. So, share your thoughts on that one so far. Let's talk about our sponsor, Private Internet Access. When we go online, wherever we're at, we run the risk that the bad guys, hackers, and even the government can see what we're looking at. You want to protect yourself. The best thing that you can do is get yourself a VPN, and the best one is Private Internet Access. They offer 83% off their regular price, and for pennies a day, you can protect yourself when you go online. Now, what Private Internet Access did that's amazing is that they don't limit the number of devices for you. Your entire household is covered with one purchase. So your cell phone, your laptop, your tablet, your home computer, everything is covered in the house. Now, think about this. This is a level of encryption that gives you a tunnel of encryption from bad guys and people seeing you. And it's like walking into a boxing match without headgear on. Okay? You don't want to do that. You want to protect yourself, and you want to protect yourself from the bad guys. Think of everything you do online. You look at your bank account, you pay bills, you go to your pension, you just search the internet, and you want some anonymity. The best thing to do is get a VPN and protect yourself and your family from the hackers. Look at all the cybersecurity stories we've had over the course of the last month, and the ones that are on this video today, telling you how dangerous it is and how hackers are getting our data and just ruining people's lives by getting personal access to our information. This is the click of one button. There is no hardware to install. It is incredibly simple to use. You need to get it today. This is the iAllegedly customer product of the year for 2022. It is the absolute best thing that I've purchased. It was something that I used before they were even a sponsor on the channel. Sign up for it today. Take advantage of this. But let me show you how simple this is to use. Let me show you how simple this is. There's no hardware to install. Click on one button, and you've got VPN protection. It's that simple. Get it today, guys. Guys, it's that simple. Click on one button, and you're protected, regardless of if you're at a resort or you're at your house and you're online. You need to protect yourself and do what's right. Get Private Internet Access today. This place is great. I have a friend who's got a place up here and he invites me to film. It's kind of nice, you know, just beautiful. Now, I have a question for you, and that is, you've heard me talk a lot about homelessness and how much money we've had here in California to solve this problem. You know, $1 billion here. I just talked last week about $1.3 billion more. Well, there's a story out of none other than CNN that is disgusting, because over the course of the last 5 years, okay, California has spent $17.3 billion on homelessness. $17.3 billion. And it has not solved it. It's not done anything towards it. Think about this. It's gone up by 25% during that time. Okay? Well, that's a failure festival, first of all. So it's gone up 25%. Now think about this. They could have bought every homeless person housing, could have rented them places and spent less money. Where did the money go? Hello, hello, hello. Where did the money go? Who knows? Who knows? Governor Newsom thinks he's going to be president someday. I am telling you, you will see homelessness around the world shown over and over and over and over and over, how dangerous it is, how dirty it is, how they advertise. People out of this country get advertised, hey, come to California, live in the beach. And people come here and realize, oh, I guess I got to sleep on the beach. Okay? So it's kind of a mess, guys, to say the least, but $17 billion to solve that. You know, this is the thing. You get bureaucrats that run things and they just spend money, and then they go home at about 4 o'clock, and they wonder why things don't get done and why we get upset and people get robbed, and you have crime and you have drugs and you have people sleeping on the streets. Now, understand this. I get that there are people that are homeless, that are drug addicted, mentally ill, and have issues. Not everybody wants to get help. There is a huge population in LA called the working poor. They have this in Australia too, where these people have jobs during the day and live in their cars at night. Now, the wild thing about that is that the services, people have talked about, I heard a radio interview driving up here today where these people were talking, if I just had $300 more a month, I wouldn't be homeless. Well, guys, $75 a week, okay, would have made these people not be homeless. Get some motivation. Go do something. But the fact that there's been $17 billion and they couldn't have given these people a few $100 a month, and the money's been squandered on $800,000 apartments. Now, I understand the junkies don't want to go live in those places and don't want to, be inside. They want to go do drugs, and they don't want to go into a shelter, okay, because they don't want rules, okay? But craziness, guys. So $17 billion of our tax dollars and federal tax dollars. I don't care if you live in Saskatchewan, you should be upset about this. So the next thing is, we've talked about cyber attacks. How about Lansing College, where 1 million people lost their identity. 1 million people through their the public portal and the public Wi-Fi. They got access to people's data, social security numbers, names, addresses, phone numbers, everything. How about that? Again, guys, get a VPN. Do that. But this is the type of thing that I cannot stand, that we hear about this months after the fact. You don't hear about, hey, on Thursday, your data was stolen, check your bank. They don't do it that way. They talk about March. In March, this happened of this year. Well, that's terrible, guys. Why are we just hearing about it in July right now? So here's another one that will drive you insane, and that is, how many of you out there have somebody do your taxes? Okay, me. I have an accountant that does my taxes. How many use a service like H&R Block or one of those places? Did you know that H&R Block sold 10 million people's data to Facebook and to Google the last couple of years? Who knew that? Would you sign up for that? If you knew they were selling your data, would you let them do your taxes? Okay? Your name, your social, your income, where you work, everything, your deductions. Think about that. They have everything, and they gave it to those guys. Now, how can that be, Dan? How could they have done this? Well, when you signed your life away and you sign our terms and conditions, scan down, click on that, and you agreed to that. How criminal is that? and they made money on each and every one of you that use those services. That is awful. That is absolutely awful that we have to watch ourselves and our data is not protected on a regular basis. Just walking through the grass areas. This place is really cool though, guys. Look, they've got all these barbecue areas you can use, and you've got volleyball over there, and you've got these fire pits. Just really, 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 really stunning. Up at Pelican Hill in Newport Coast, guys, for those of you that are like, where's he at? What did he say? So, but, guys, this is just, it's ridiculous. Everything that we live through, we're supposed to not be affected by this, but the data, our data, is what's worth something. The toll roads here in Southern California, they did something nefarious a few years ago where not only would they overcharge people for tolls and things like that, and not let people, pay late charges, and as a municipality, they were treating themselves as a municipality, and they were just a toll agency, and they would take people's driver's license and do horrific things, and they threatened me when I was going through my custody battle that they would take away my driver's license. You won't get to have your kids if you don't pay these fines, is what they threatened me with. Well, I was the lead plaintiff for the class action lawsuit, and the one thing about this that came out of this was that they stole all our data. They sold our data to different advertisers, insurance companies, because if you have a toll transponder and you drive from here to here to here and you exit here, they know which exits are used more. What kind of car does this guy have? What's his income level? All that stuff that's none of their business. They sold that without our authorization. Here in California, one of those wacky things that you're not allowed to do here, they did that, and we're very nefarious about that. But your data at H&R Block was stolen. People should sue H&R Block because people didn't know this. Facebook, Google, everybody has all that. So let me know. Share your thoughts on that stuff if anybody knew that, first of all. But who else has our data? Who else is stealing that stuff? Elon Musk is going to start a new AI company. It's called XAI. He already has 12 staffers too, and he wants to rival ChatGPT. He wants to design something that's going to be user-friendly, good for the world, and easy to use. Now, one thing that's fascinating, I bet you guys didn't know this, is that the company that Elon Musk started prior to PayPal was called X.com. It was basically the first online bank, and it was X-Bank, X.com. That's what PayPal originated from. Bob Kudla, our stock-picking buddy, he would be very proud of this because none other than Warren Buffett has just made a huge play into natural gas. So you guys know how Bob has always talked about natural gas and everybody should get into it. And another thing is that there's a study that if you guys suffer from depression, if you walk for 20 minutes a day, it can help your depression by 45%, which again, get outside, guys. Get some activity, be amongst everybody. It's free, guys, to walk through this stuff. Get some exercise. Be kind. Just go talk to people. Go walk and don't be depressed. Now we get more JP Morgan news. I love, these Jamie Dimon stories because I usually lose my mind and disagree with them. This time's different. Jamie Dimon steps forward and says that he is furious with his managers that work remotely for the banks. How do you have a bank manager or someone in finance that's not in the office today? Approving loans, dealing with staff, making sure sales quotas get met. What are they, laying out by their pool on a summer day, just, relaxing? Yeah, I'm not coming in. Okay? No. But he says, how can you manage? How can you lead? How can you run a team when you're doing it remotely? And yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I don't know how they can do this right now. So, again, one of the first times I agree with Jamie Dimon, but guys, we're going to seriously look at how we're going to promote with people that only want to work remotely. Yeah. I mean, think of it. Some of these people could have 2 jobs right now, and JP Morgan wouldn't know it. So, fascinating. But you got bank managers that don't go into the office. How does that even work? Then you get Bill Gross, the bond king from PIMCO, fixed income guru. Well, he steps forward and has just been tweeting lately, been sending out all this great information, talking about the economy and talking about how we, ingested $4 trillion into the economy, and it's just a matter of time until we run out of money. And that he sees it in spring, and not in spring, but in fall, that we're running out of money right now. And it's just going to be a matter of time until the average consumer has a problem. So, fascinating stuff, to say the least. So, do you guys, Jeremy Siegel, it's just, you run, inside of a theme right now that people are saying that the trouble is coming 60 days from now, 90 days from now, and nobody wants to look at that. Then you look at Michael Burry, who's been for a year talking about this, okay? So, Michael Burry, on again, off again, he's right, he's not, he's going to be onto something. Okay, Michael Burry said the same thing. Now, here's somebody else that worked, the Chief Operating Officer, Bob Michel, at over at JP Morgan, said the same thing. People are desperate. People are using their credit cards to buy groceries right now, and that's a bad sign. They know that, guys. They know what you spend your money on at these banks. And people don't want to admit that they're being fiscally irresponsible. But when Bill Gross, the bond king, sits there and says we're running out of money, and he said this, the COVID money, the $4 trillion is still trickling into the system right now. And eventually it's going to dry up. And when it dries up, it's done. All bets are off. You're going to see things, cities have some of this money left over. Municipalities, counties, a lot of people have some of this money left over. And I saw somebody send out information the other day about the restaurant grants. Hey, we've got a little more restaurant grant money. How'd that work out? $28 billion was given out to restaurants. And a lot of friends and families of the SBA got that. And did it save all those restaurants? Nope. I know a restaurant that got $800,000. 800 grand. They're open. They're doing great. But that was just a huge windfall for them. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. The remote working thing, it's got to be over with, guys. Don't you think? I mean, I understand some jobs and some positions you can do, and I deal with customer service people, and I always ask, are you at the house? Where are you at today? Oh, no, I have to go to the office 3 days a week, or I'm home today, I'll be at the office tomorrow. But for these managers to work remotely, I think it's kind of interesting. So let me know, share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. I got these 3 stories sent to me quite a bit, so I thought I'd cover all 3 of them. The first one was Tesla is lowering the price in their Model 3 and their Model Y, and they just admit it's to spur sales. Keep it going. Keep the party going through the summer. Okay, we're selling great. We want to keep it going. They delivered 461,000 cars last quarter, and they just want to continue that. Bank of England, different banks in England, are shutting people's bank accounts off if they don't agree with them politically, and it's like, it's ridiculous. And you're seeing this more and more and more and more. Now, the Board of Governors for the Bank of England, Andrew Bailey, he steps forward and he is talking about how, cryptocurrency is ridiculous and Bitcoin is ridiculous. It's not money. And you need to have, stable dollars and stable tokens that are real money. Remember a couple days ago we talked about how the Bank of England was going to have its own digital dollar. Now they're slamming Bitcoin. It's kind of interesting, to say the least. So, again, they don't do what they're not going to do. They don't say things that they're not going to do. It's that simple. So, Andrew Bailey, for these people in England, let me know if you think that guy's a joke, because it just, speaking out of both sides of his mouth. And, again, last week, they want to have the central bank, digital pound. And, but, Bitcoin's bad. So, again, I'm not promoting Bitcoin by anything. Final story is Verizon. Verizon had a data breach, guys, that had 1 million people got their data stolen. And we've all gotten cell phone contracts before. You know what you give them. You give them your name, you give them your address, your phone number, your social, your income, everything. 1 million people got stolen from the last Verizon hack. Isn't that terrible? So get your VPN, guys. Okay? Just be careful. Okay? Protect yourself at any cost. It's inexpensive. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you want to email me, it's hello@iallegedly.com. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon.